YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Above Average Cody here, coming at you with a quick little Halo Infinite video to help you guys with potential connection issues or things that could be harming your performance on this game. And this is a pretty straightforward video for most of you out there, especially you guys that like playing with your settings, you like making your game run the best as possible. But I've seen a couple comments, I've had a couple friends have issues, and I realize not everybody may know these very simple fixes to at least help with some of the connection issues on the game. I'm not saying it's going to help, guys, necessarily. I'm not saying it's going to be a cure-all for all of your problems, but I am saying some of these issues may be easy fixes that you guys weren't already doing that could have a pretty big impact on your game. So let's jump right into it. First off, guys, I want to talk about graphic settings. Graphic settings play a very, very big role in really how your game runs, especially if you don't have great connection, I guess you could say, like your internet maybe. But the rule of thumb with graphic settings and connection is the higher the graphic settings, depending on what end of your PC is, and of course your Xbox, the higher graphic settings you go with, guys, the less like performance you're gonna have. So it's not gonna run quite as smooth, it's not gonna run quite as good, quite as fast, but it will look a lot better. You know, it'll look more visually appealing. And then on the flip side, guys, generally you go for the higher performance, the higher frame rate, frames per second, that is, and you get slightly worse graphic settings. You may give up some of the visual effects like the shield recharge, you know, the wind when you sprint, you can get those little wind lines, the birds on the map. You'll give up those things so you can get higher frames. So how do you even do that, guys? You're going to go to your video settings, all right? And you're going to go to all of these settings where you can go low, medium, and high, and you're going to drop them. If you have them all on high, guys, I promise lowering this a little bit might help your settings. It may also not. It's really something you have to try and play with. This is much bigger on PC than Xbox because obviously on Xbox you're hard stuck on really what your hardware can do. But on PC, some of us have higher end PCs, some of us have lower end PCs. But generally, guys, if you want to get more frames out of your game, you're going to have to lower these. But of course on an Xbox, guys, you're kind of hard locked onto what you can and can't do. But again, there's even custom presets where you can just set everything to low. You can set it to medium, you can set it to high, or you can set it to ultra. But I recommend playing with it. I'm not going to show you guys every single setting. I'm not going to go through them all. I've done that in a past graphic settings video. But I do want to bring up down at the bottom here, you can do screen blur, screen shake, exposure, full screen effects, speed lines, and sharpening. You can lower all of these to improve your performance just a tiny little bit, guys. And they're really things you don't need to have for your gameplay. Screen blur, screen shake, exposure, full screen effects. It's kind of just added things that make the game more visually appealing, especially speed lines. Some people leave them on, some people leave them off. These are things, this is just one more thing that your game has to produce and show you, so it works harder to do so. Therefore, sometimes it might take away from your frames. These ones down here, guys, aren't going to have a very big impact. Some of these will have a very big impact, and it will tell you that the game requires a reset if you change it. So you have to close the game out and open it back up to have it go in. But yeah, guys, if you're having issues with frames, try dropping some of these settings. You may go down and realize you have them all on ultra. That can have a pretty big effect overall on the way your game is running. Now, next up, guys, a very simple one. I'm sure most of you already know this, but I've run into this issue twice already with friends. One being a comment, but I'll tell you what it is first, guys. Run an Ethernet cable. Trust me, if you have the ability to get a cable long enough and hook it directly to your router or modem, do so. Trust me, you have to do it, especially on this game. You will notice massive improvement with it. I had one comment the other day, guys. They said they plugged in their Ethernet cable and they went from very high ping to very, very good ping. And just as of today, my buddy Jacob, play with him quite often, he noticed he was having issues. And then he goes, I don't think my Wi-Fi splitter or my Ethernet splitter is working. So he looks in the bottom right of his PC. He's been on Wi-Fi, guys. And let me tell you, he's had high ping. He's been crashing out of games. He's been lagging in the Discord. And once he did that, guys, all of his problems just went away. All of them. So please, guys, if you are able to, whether you're on Xbox, you're on PC. If you're on PC, I really hope you're already on Ethernet. But try to run that Ethernet cord, guys. It really can help you out a lot here on Halo Infinite. And again, I realize some of us may not have such a luxury as running the Ethernet cord. Either the router's really far away, or it's just you got to do a lot of turns and angles or go through the middle of the floor, things like that. But if you have the ability to, guys, you can see some pretty vast improvements here on Halo Infinite. And those are pretty much the two main things, guys, that can kind of affect your performance here on the game. But there is one more thing for all my PC homies out there. If you don't have this setting on, you may want it on, and it's the borderless full screen. Borderless full screen generally dedicates more usage of your PC to the game because obviously it's like the main thing open on your main monitor. I believe if you uncheck this and you have it in a small window, the computer's now spacing out its performance towards like everything. So make sure this is checked because borderless full screen will generally run a little bit better than not having it borderless full screen. Resolution scale, also that's a good one, guys. And it says it right in the description here. Set below 100% to upsample for better performance. Set above 100% to super sample for better quality. This is exactly the trade-off I was telling you guys about earlier in the video. Again, if you want high performance, you generally give a little bit up on the graphics, and then if you want better graphics, you generally give a little bit up on performance. That's just the way it is, guys. It's just like a trade-off. Generally, I like to just go in the middle. That's why you saw most of my settings down here on medium. And then VSync on, that can generally help you get a few more frames. And then your frame rate, guys. Capping your frame rate can actually help the game run because your frames aren't fluctuating as much. I don't have a lot of frame fluctuation on this game, believe it or not. On Call of Duty, I get a lot more. But I do have it capped at 120, and I normally don't even hit the cap anyways while I'm streaming. So that's really not that big of a deal. And finally, guys, one last thing, and this is just personal experience. I don't do it all the time. But if you're on PC and you're launching through Steam, I have noticed that some days the game will actually run a lot better if I launch through the Microsoft Store because you can launch through one or the other. You just have to log into your profile if you're switching back and forth. So if you have a lot of issues and you're launching through Steam, guys, I do recommend trying it through the Xbox app, or not the Xbox app, the Microsoft Store. I will say, though, it's been a while since I've launched through the Microsoft Store, but when I used to, guys, I would experience a lot more crashes through Microsoft. I know they've put through a lot of patches and a lot of fixes. I thought I still had my grapple hook. They've put through a lot of fixes to try to counteract that. I don't know how well the fixes have gone through. You guys know how it goes with 343. But try launching through the Xbox or the Microsoft Store. I have noticed better quality in everything, really. The way the game looks and the way it runs launching that way. So that could be another thing that fixes your problem. But the last thing to mention, guys, the ping's all over the place on this game. Sometimes you get bad lobbies depending on what region you're in. So sometimes you just can't fix the problem. It's not always your fault. Sometimes it really is just the game. It's whatever server you're getting pinged to. But realistically, that's just the reality of Halo Infinite, guys. All right, but hopefully some of these fixes maybe helped you out with your performance or the hunt for more frames on this game. But it is what it is, guys. Like I said, you're going to have games that run crisp. You're going to have games that run bad. That's just how it goes. But that does it for me, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Pretty please. We've been steamrolling with subs, guys. A lot of Halo content. We haven't been streaming as much Call of Duty, but once Modern Warfare 2 comes out, guys, we're going to be going crazy with the COD content. So be on the lookout for that. Please leave a like on the video, guys. Get this out to more people. I'm sure plenty of people don't know what's good with all the graphic settings and how they can really help out your performance. But that does it, guys. Leave a comment. If you got any other tips, any other easy fixes, anything crazy that's helped you out with your connection on the game, put in a comment. I'll leave a heart on it. More people can get help from you. And then, guys, channel memberships, if you feel so inclined, $4.99. We're going to be working in some members play days quite regularly here. So, yeah, feel free to do that. But anyways, guys, that does it for me. This video's long enough already. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next one.